I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social Security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TV Guidance Counselor. I am Ken Reed, as always, your TV Guidance Counselor, and this is the show where each and every week I welcome an interesting guest or guests to the show to discuss classic television using a back-issue TV guide from a personal collection as the inspiration for our conversation. This week we have two guests. It's a gluttony of guests. Is that a phrase? A cornucopia, as it is Thanksgiving week here in the United States. One is a returning guest, Jason Klamm, K-L-A-M-M. You can go to jasonclamm.com and find all his books and all the comedy stuff he's working on, the stuff we talk about here, and his comedy sketch longtime writing partner, Dan Gomiller. Dan did a lot of research here. I really enjoyed meeting him and getting to chat with him, and it's always great to chat with Jason. Also, great feedback last week on Mike's return, so maybe I'll have him back a fourth time. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Hope you guys are okay. We are approaching the final month of the year. What a year it's been. Oh boy. Just shelled out almost $6,000 for car repairs. That was pretty fun. But things, at least for me, are looking a little bit up. So that's good. I hope it is for you as well. Feel free to email me at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or ken@icanread.com. Go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/TV Guidance Counselor, as little as $1 a month. You can message me, talk to other people who listen to the show. $5 or more a month, you would get a PDF of this week's episode's TV guide, which is from the 1950s. So this is a fun one. We rarely go back this far, and it is quite a time capsule. There is some strange stuff in there, some real mysteries. And I'll post a picture on social media of my friend Fred Hembeck kept in video. That will make sense after you listen to the episode. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with Jason Klamm and Dan Gomiller.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
From sunny Detroit, Jason and Dan, how are you, gentlemen? Welcome back, Jason.
I'm good.
I am also good. Thank you for asking.
Welcome, and welcome for the first time, Dan.
Thank you.
And so this was going to be just Jason. We rescheduled a couple times, and Jason was like, hey, Dan's going to be here. That's even better. And then you were conscripted into this show.
I was.
He ended up doing a shitload of research as we started digging through, and I realized I didn't. But
so that's why you conscripted him.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Because you guys do a podcast together.
We do. Yeah, and then yesterday we had to do a performance and had to do a lot of prep for that. And then Dan ended up doing most of that prep. Not on purpose, but it turns out Dan's really good at that at the last minute. So
I am good at that at the last minute.
But you grew up together, so you guys have known each other forever, right? Mm-hmm. So this is
Yes.
not news to you that Dan is the one who's prepared.
No, exactly. I mean, or at the very least, is very good at. Dan's day job is IT, so fixing problems at the last minute is kind of his deal.
And documenting it. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Is that I have to do a lot of documentation
Tickets.
for it because what I do is weird stuff. So if I don't document it a month from there, I'm like, what did I do again?
Yeah.
So like I took what Jay had and made it usable.
Nice. Nice. That's what I need that if you want to be my friend now. But speaking of which, we were just talking about the setup that Jason and Dan have in Jason's, I'll call it a podcast studio. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm apparently being beamed to them Brian Oblivion style on a television. Mm-hmm. But they have a boombox TV that they're going to try to make it work with, but couldn't because they're missing an adapter because it was in your museum display.
Yeah, it's in a museum display right now at the Detroit Public Library.
And why do you have a museum display at the Detroit Public Library?
Well, okay, so yesterday, and this I'll avoid super promo, but yesterday we were premiering a cylinder, a phonograph cylinder that Dan and I made together, a 2-minute cylinder, and we did a presentation to some people at the DPL, the Detroit Public Library, and part of it was Well, the guy who we spoke with there, named Cully Summers, he said, oh, well, like, do you have anything related to it? And I said, yeah, I've got a bunch of, like, fake books that were created in the history, because our sketch comedy group that we've been doing actually for 32 years The history goes back now 160
We were
years.
like, what, 13 or so when we started?
Yeah. But the fake history through the podcast goes back several decades, like way, way, way longer. And so I had a bunch of shit I was already working on. And he said, oh, do you want to put up a fake museum display? And I'm like, are you in an actual public library? This is what you would like us to do?
Present it as if it's actual history.
As if
Yeah, there's no hint that it's fake, except for if you have any sense of comedy, you're like, oh, this is obvious bullshit.
Yep.
But yeah.
It reminds me of Forgotten Silver is like kind of the thing I think of if you've ever seen that. So
Tell me.
Forgotten Silver is Peter Jackson. Yes. So Forgotten Silver is Peter Jackson. It's early in his career. It's a fake documentary. And the conceit is that he's discovered films that prove that film was invented in New Zealand and that silent cinema existed in New Zealand for 20 years before anywhere else. And so
That's awesome.
it's so funny because he has the films and it's totally straight. And one of the films is there's at the time a famous silent New Zealand comedian whose bit is going up to members of the public and throwing pies in their face, including babies and buggies. It's so funny. But like I love that kind of thing. Like, and so I always that's like that Forgotten Silver is like the one I hold up as like that's what everything I compare to Forgotten Silver. So that's why I bring it up.
There were supposed to be like 70 things in this display. We pared it down. Like at some point the day before, Dan was like, "You can't make that puppet right now." I wanted to make a full puppet from the 50s.
With like an hour left?
Yeah, we had like an hour ready to go, and I'm like, "I'll make this puppet. We'll be fine." Dan's like, "I have one that I already made for the other half of the puppet duo. We'll just put that in."
Yeah, if you remember like the Kermit like coffee commercial.
Oh, yeah.
It was Kermit and
What do you think of Wilkinson's coffee?
It was a parody of that kind of a thing. So.
And if you've been to the Words and Pictures, not the Words and Pictures Museum, that's no longer with us, sadly. R.I.P. Words and Pictures Museum. Museum of the Moving Image in Queens.
I never have.
Oh, man. They have, I mean, it's amazing and you guys would love it, but they have a massive Henson exhibit. Like everything, including the, was it named Yorgo or whatever? Igo? Yeah. They have that puppet.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's super cool.
He's made of wood, right? So that's one of the few that's going to survive.
Yeah, that's true.
We were gonna like shoot. One of the reasons Dan bought this was like maybe we can put a display with our two puppet characters on it, but we're like we'd have to shoot a bunch of fucking commercials I haven't written. This is the problem. I get overwhelmed with ideas.
You wanted it. I just.
Oh, okay.
That's how I convinced you to let me buy it for you.
Oh, okay. I see.
It's a good excuse
that's fair.
to be like, oh, this is a cool thing. Let me justify this purchase.
We each had a thing too. I feel like that we spent the most time on. Mine was a book that I designed the whole cover of. It was a fake history of a Masonic group that our group was not a part of, called the Ha Brotherhood and Spirits Club. The name of the book is The Divine Secrets of the Ha Brotherhood, and I did a full gold leaf cover with just intricate designs. And then Dan spent 5 hours designing a film label.
Yeah, and the majority of that 5 hours, it's a body British comedy.
Okay, so like a carry-on kind of film.
It's exactly inspired by Carry On. And so I probably spent 3 hours making the letter M out of some lady's legs, which is about this big on the actual
you mean visually?
Because I found a film reel like case at the farmer's market, so I'm like, I could make a label for that. So yeah, I made the label, and the M's like this big, and I spent like 3 hours on it. I thought it came out pretty good.
We in Boston here, we had a strip club called the Naked Eye that was in our combat zone, which was our like 42nd Street. But they had a neon sign that was a woman, so you saw like just her legs and her her butt, like she was like this.
Yeah.
And the neon sign opened, and then when they all the way went open, an eye lit up right in the middle.
Oh.
And that was massive. You could see it from like three or four different streets. So
funny.
as a kid going around Boston for like Christmas, there's the big naked eye legs.
Yeah, the way I designed the M is that she is on her back, kind of a thing, and the legs are just like bent legs making the
Yep,
M
that's
shape.
what I was picturing. I immediately thought of the naked eye.
The name of the movie was Rump Parliament, and then Dan just rolled with the whole logo, came up with a plot. My drive to the DPL, our wives were in the back of the car, and they're like, Dan, shut up, because Dan was just coming up with a plot for a movie we'll never write or
and
never make.
unfortunately, like, my first plot wouldn't work because I was like, they could be trying to do like a panty raid, but it's behind Parliament because that's stupid stuff they do. But the Greek life does not exist in English.
No, which is why I
had to
love going to
completely
college
rewrite
there.
I had to
I
rewrite the
bet.
whole story.
Where did you go to college? Oxford, Cambridge, which?
Yeah, I went to both.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, you
I
went
went
to
to
Oxford
Coxbridge. Coxbridge is the movie. No, I went to Northeastern and then I transferred
Nice.
to Goldsmiths University in the University of London. Actually, it's relevant here because it's an art school. It's like a relatively famous art school in England, like respected art school. But I didn't go for arts, and all my friends were in the arts program, and I would pretty much just minimize their accomplishments constantly. So
And now, ironically, you talk about art.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, actually, side note, this is a great story. This kid was a complete dick, and he had this super pretentious art thing, and it was a video of him in the Tate Modern with a metal detector on a loop. That was the whole thing.
Okay.
So they had
Okay.
like the end of term art show, and they had this like, it was like the Times art critic, like a big deal person come in and like look at everyone's stuff and critique it. And she was like very, respectful and well thought out and went through all the things, gets to his and then just goes, no. And then just walked past, it was so funny.
That is kind of perfect.
But one of the things I pitched, I was like, hey, if I made up a bunch of fake bands and made fake LPs, and like, could that be my thesis art project? And they're like, yes, it could. And thank you for minimizing my entire.
Speaking of,
Oh yeah, we did a fake LP as well.
yeah, and also like Jay has a couple of them still, but as a teenager,
Oh yeah.
I bought a CD of clip art and public domain photos. This is back before you could go online really and get that. And I made a series, I made up an entire fake band and made every one of their albums. And on the back, I have every single one of their songs with timestamps and dates and everything. So
What
now
genre was it?
Yeah, what did we decide?
it was like it was ska, but one of the guys consistently played a didgeridoo in it.
Nice.
And an accordion.
And some of it was clearly prog rock inspired.
There's
So
definitely
always
like it's well, of course, but the whole thing is that they were Jay wrote a couple articles about how they were redefining music. So they really, in their mind at least, they were their own genre. of music.
Speaking of Detroit, Andrew W.K., I don't know if you know his backstory.
I don't know I only know a little bit about
So he's from Detroit, but what he used to do as a teenager is he made a catalog for a record label with all these albums of all different genres in it. None of them existed, but if people would buy it, he would then record it and send it to them. So
Oh,
he was
Jesus.
like, right.
That's a heck of a
So
thing.
it was that next, that was like what you did, but if someone's like, I'd like to hear that, you're like, I'll be right back. And so he would like, but it wasn't,
I have the skill set for that.
it wasn't advertised as that. He's like, oh, you bought that ska band's LP? Yeah, let me just get that for you. Hold on.
crap.
Oh my god.
And so he did that for years before he, started doing his own thing, which is such a weird thing to do, and I love it.
That is a weird thing to do.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's such a great thing though. Like
Our-
that's crazy.
Our band is called Rubber Chicken Knuckles. They have their most recent anything is this guitar pick. We got a bunch of guitar picks
Nice.
made of their logo. It's a little hard to see.
It's a great promo item. I don't know why more
I
people don't
think
do
their
it.
Facebook page is still up.
Really?
And I think there's a link to it off of lordofdance.com. I haven't updated that page.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My two favorite fake bands I had was one was a grunge band called Gripe Water.
That's good.
name.
That was good, and then the other was like an early '80s electro goth band called Prayers for Algernon.
Holy shit. Yeah. Why are fake bands such a I don't know, man. Like we love the Ruddles. We love a lot of like just this sort of like deep lore. Like anything like that with this got very, very deep lore in it, I think is
That's always been a fascination for us because I wrote like whole fake alien species with life cycles and alphabets
And a full language, yeah.
religions and
But that makes sense. Like, given like when we last talked to you, so you're doing the sketch comedy book, I believe, and like when I think of SCTV, my favorite sketch comedy show ever, like one of the things that I love about that show is it has like deep lore. Like they like it's not explicitly spelled out for you. Like you're rewarded the more that you're into it. So all that kind of stuff, I think and I apologize to the two of you for lumping you in with me, but for gentlemen like us, that stuff just is very satisfying.
Yeah, and I couldn't exactly tell you why, but like that's why this right now, at least I'm not going to say the ultimate culmination, but it's the culmination of what we've done so far is having 40 dumb shit fake things in a museum display, including a time travel machine, which is unexplained and goes unexplained in it. But if you put the pieces together, you can tell it's a time travel. There's a lot of time travel on our podcast, Ken. Yeah. There's a lot going on here.
To be fair, it started as interdimensional travel.
Right. That's true.
Sort of the same thing.
Time travel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was a guy.
Time and space.
I used to do this late night show on Thursdays with the Walsh brothers in Mint Square in Cambridge, and there was a guy. I think he was an unhoused gentleman, but I'm not 100% sure. But he basically was dressed like a 1930s chauffeur all the time. He was probably 30, very, very thin, had a broken umbrella and gloves, and he would always sell this, I guess it was a zine that he wrote and produced himself called Geographlite News. And it was a completely sincere magazine about him inventing time travel machines and how they work with like plans and like experiments. And this was not a joke. He was very serious.
No, I want a copy of this.
I have some copies of Geographlite News. I wonder if somebody online is. I haven't thought of this in years, but I wonder if someone has like an archive of them.
That would be super cool.
Dan, speaking of which, can you grab one of those for me?
I figured out one day because he'd sell them for like $1 or something. And someone bought one, and he goes, "Be careful of that paper. It's very cutty," which is why he had the gloves on.
I love this person.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look again. It could be it could be a level of insanity or a problem, but the fact that it's in not a like mean way. That brings people joy in some way is like this very beautiful thing, like, and it's not in a disdainful way. I'm just like, oh my God, there's something about the way you live that is just purely joyful. I hope you're okay, but also you are bringing me all this joy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. I had Dan grab me this because the one thing people, I think, so I work at a library. That's my day job. And I put these out to advertise our show. And the next day I came in and they were all on the front desk because I think somebody thought that somebody was actually trying to spread a conspiracy theory because it's all written in all caps except, and for any emphasis is in lower caps. This is a time box. There's an advertisement on the back. So you'd think that would be clear. Yes, thank you. And it's all written. It's about the Masonic connections, different fonts. It seemingly scared a few people.
So so after the show, because we used it, the time box ended up in the museum display.
Yes. And
we have that pamphlet with the time box side, like, on the side of the cabinet, so you have to be sideways, but since it's a box, all glass box sticking out of the wall, so it looks like someone like either dropped it or stuck it in there, so if they're not looking, they won't see that, but if they're like walking towards it or whatever, they can be like, oh, what's that?
So there's a story there. There's like a side little story.
Yeah, and there's a few different spots where the time box kind of shows up, but yeah, there's nothing that's as explicit as.
So you're doing like a immersive theater.
It's definitely
You're doing a non-consensual escape room.
Yeah, I like that very, very much. Yeah. From which, by the way, zero escape unless you just walk out.
It was like what we did was like kind of a performance piece because it was an oral history of our group and our ancestors. The N&J's Comedy Hour has been around forever, kind of thing. And Dan couldn't make it, but Darbish, was it great grandfather or grandfather?
I think grandfather, if I remember correctly. No, great grandfather.
Great grandfather made it, and so but pretended to be Dan because he was just there to seal a cylinder, which had some damning information on it that no one had heard. And but he ended up getting conscripted, and so had to pretend he knew what was being talked about. And then when they got to the part, he's the one who's on the cylinder. So when Jay got to that part, he had some stuff to say and maybe tried to derail it a little.
So this is an Edison wax cylinder recording, and the joke being that I just got that it was recorded clandestinely, which would be absolutely hilarious.
So here's the basic, basically yes. So here's the analog is, if you recall, when that piece of shit Martin Shkreli won a Wu-Tang album, a one-off, this is supposed to be a one-off cylinder, and the person who won it was like, well, who's the worst human from them? Oh, Henry Ford. So Henry Ford won it in 1915. it couldn't be re-released to the public for another 110 years. And then I, quote unquote, stole it from the Henry Ford Museum a few weeks ago, and it's since been duplicated multiple times. But it is, it's a real
For
playable
people that don't know how those are recorded, it was, I think, the first recording process, and it's basically just a tube, like a funnel with a needle on the end, and you yell into the funnel.
You yell
and
into
it
it,
vibrates the needle, and it basically just carves into the wax what has been done. And you have to, and they would record big bands like this, and people would move closer and further away to the funnel. I think They Might Be Giants did a single with one that was really cool.
They did. Mm-hmm.
So I presume that because we had to send it to him digitally, he must have just had like a speaker with a decent quality sound.
And he had to do a lot. We can't, I will say, we're not releasing it digitally, so we can't say too much. But let's just say there's some sound effects that were artificially placed in it that had to be, that he had to like tweak and tweak and tweak until it actually sounded like something was going on. It was really hard.
The fidelity isn't quite there on these.
No.
this
But we
technology
recorded
from
it
the
yelling
1800s.
it. We recorded it 3 feet from our microphone. Hello!
Yeah.
We did
Exactly.
that full bullshit just to make sure it sounded like it was legit.
And it's the master, so every time you play it, it destroys a little bit of it, and it's the only copy. So it is kind of a very interesting...
Yeah, kind of a transient audio.
Ephemeral.
It's like a Mission Impossible clue.
It's a funny story, but also a big bummer.
Oh, yeah. This is sad.
Yeah. So, part of the reason why we wanted to do it at the library is they have a cylinder player that has been in a case for unopened for 50 years.
Yep.
And so they were going to bring that onto stage for us. So he was willing to open the case and bring the player out for us. Now, we were talking about that it probably isn't going to work or what have you. So what we'll do is we'll just put a speaker inside the horn or whatever, right? And he was fine with that. But he took it out and he's like, I'm going to try it. So he tried it and it played. It played great. And it was a 2-minute cylinder and he wasn't sure it could. So then he put on a 4-minute. They played like 4 or 5. He's like, oh man, this thing's working. This is going to be great. We can do a real playing of the cylinder. And then he called everyone in, all these library folks wanted to hear it. And then he wound it up, and apparently there was a big pop, and it stopped working.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. This is the day that we were going to do this? Yeah.
And so they took it apart to see if they could figure out if it was mechanical, and it was one of the electronic parts. And so then we had to fake it anyway. But he's like, oh man, they almost were able to play it, and I broke it.
Yeah, it was probably a
and
tube
so I'm like,
blue.
you're never going to live this down, Cully. You're never going to live this down.
Overheated and a tube blue. Side note, this is totally semi off topic, and we'll get into the guy in a moment here. Have you seen the videos of Bobby Fingers on YouTube at all? Are you familiar?
I don't think I've heard of that.
Familiar, but I'm not.
He's this Irish guy that was in a sort of a joke band called the Rubber Bandits. And he now does these incredibly detailed dioramas on YouTube that are some of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And they go the levels of insanity in these things. So this won't ruin it because it'll still be funny. But he did one of Fabio getting hit in the face by the bird.
Yes,
nice.
I did see
Yes. And so to get into the mindset of Fabio, he worked out for 6 months, had a photo shoot for a cover of a romance novel, wrote a romance novel, released it on Amazon in an audio book. Like, it's this whole thing.
It's a whole
Then he met
thing,
with Adam Savage, and they like built fake Fabio heads and like fire bird.
Oh my gosh.
And these he's so talented at these ridiculous dioramas. Like he did one about the guys from, not the White Stripes, the Black Keys were on the Joe Rogan show. And one of them goes, hey, did you see that guy do that diorama of when Mel Gibson called the cop sugar tits? I forget the guy's name. And he goes, no, that's cool. And then they moved on. It was him. He made a diorama of that moment. But he's like, I couldn't see the books on his table, so I made them up. And one of them is a book by Jordan Peterson called Fake Cum.
Holy shit.
It's very funny.
So good.
Yeah, it's very funny.
That's the kind of stuff I wish I had the money and time, mostly money, because then I'd have the time to do. Like, like the deep shit I want to do with us as a comedy group, I would do nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, I love writing nonfiction and everything and all the other dumb shit I do. But Dan and I doing sketch and improv together for now 32 years. It's an inextricable part of who I am, and I don't know. That's why this dumb museum display is like so.
It's fun. It's satisfying. It's like a weird.
I made that puppet when I was it was when Steve was a toddler.
So 95, 4, yeah.
So probably like 16, 17. So
Yeah.
I never imagined then that it would end up in a
30
museum
years
display
later.
in a library. So
That's the oldest thing in there, probably.
Probably,
and
yeah.
One of I realized, by the way, that Mike's what do you call it? We have a rig that our late friend Mike made. We should try and put that on display when we go back.
we
maybe
should, yeah.
It's a long story, but we don't have anything there that's like dedicated to our friend who is like part of the group from the very beginning, and I think we should throw that in.
I think that's a good idea.
Nice.
Anyway, you didn't need to hear that.
I do. Well, we'll jump in here. So this issue you picked,
Yeah.
and the reason you picked this is because you're kind of looking at this era, and so you're looking at this is the week of July 3rd through the 9th, 1953. So
Yep.
this is a rarefied air of one of the earlier editions that we have of this magazine. And it really threw me off because the cover is Perry Como, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's a special holiday issue in red. And then behind him is a barber pole.
Yeah, it looks like a
Looks like
Christmassy.
a Christmas
It seems
thing.
very Christmassy, but
You're
it
fucking
is
right.
July 4th.
Although the barber pole says Como, which
yeah.
when I look,
Although the O's a little bit cut off.
yeah,
Fake Como.
yeah, and the C looks like half of an H. But anyway,
Yeah, a little bit.
so it looks very Christmas, but it's a 4th of July holiday issue, which
And he's also wearing a red and white, like,
yeah,
dotted shirt.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. Jesus, it
It's a
didn't even
very
occur to
Christmassy
me.
for being July 4th.
it's so Christmas coded, and
There's not actually really a lot of blue in that cover. Like, if there was blue, then it would make a little more sense.
Yeah, bluer than
He's
it is.
wearing,
Yeah.
I guess it's a bluish gray suit, but I wouldn't assume.
it's the green at the top of the barber pole and the red. That's what throws it off. It's like
yeah.
totally throws it off.
It's more Italian than anything.
But I did for a second think, is this Christmas in July? Because that
fair.
forever was a thing, which was totally just because networks, I mean, this was 70s and on, but it was because, when we're doing the reruns from the previous season, the Christmas episodes hit in July, so let's make Christmas in July a thing. Which it no longer is. It's been replaced, I think, with Summerween. But I was like, maybe this is the first Christmas in July, but it's not.
Huh. That's interesting. I'm curious, though. I'm not interviewing you, but I'm going to interview you very quickly.
Yeah.
How deep far back does your knowledge of like early TV go? Like, is there a show that's way too old that you can barely even find anywhere that like is something that you actually have a real, I hate to use this phrase, but hard on for, like a show you really love? I hate when people say it, but I couldn't think of another word. But like for instance, something pops up, we'll talk about it. I apologize, but the Captain Video pops up in this, and I'm really fascinated with Captain Video. Is there something in here or this era that is like a thing for you?
This is original Fred Hembeck drawing of Captain Video for me. It's not coming clear.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you know Fred Hembeck.
I don't.
He was a Marvel artist, and there you go.
Okay.
There's Captain
Oh,
Video.
Okay, there we go.
That's fucking great.
It literally, I did not plan this. It was
Falls,
just.
style to it. It looks.
So wait, is Captain Video one of those things
I do
for
enjoy
you?
Captain Video quite a bit. Yeah,
It's funny
Okay.
I would not say that's
right,
my thing, but
Sure.
because I literally put some information down on that in here because that drew my attention.
yeah, it's probably like the '50s Bob and Ray shows
Okay,
are up
fair
there.
enough. Yeah.
But more in the '60s, like the Phil Silvers stuff and Carpet
Yeah, I know. I kind of wish I'd have picked something with Phil Silvers in it. Like as I was talking to you, I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I love talking about Phil
But it's
Silvers.
interesting because when I look at, like, I'm just looking at Bob Stahl Report's TV teletype. So this is New England edition, but they're the New York sort of rumor mill of television. And all the people they name here are basically people who were parodied as Hanna-Barbera characters.
Oh,
okay.
my God. Yeah. Huh.
So you have like Greer Garson expected to break into TV with her own show. Now it comes out that French lessons Wally Cox was taking for his trip to Europe this summer were in earnest. Mr. Peepers. Yeah, like it's just.
There's a whole thing about Jackie Gleason doing a serious role for the first
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Oh God, there's a picture of a clown I missed.
Oh, it's an upsetting picture. That's a child clown, by the
Yeah.
way.
Marty.
Jackie Gleason's UFO house was recently went up for sale, if you saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had a summer house, because he was obsessed with UFOs, as you may or may not
Okay.
know.
I did not know
Oh.
this.
Was that why you said bang zoom to the moon?
Probably. So I forget what library it is, but they have a wing of Fortean and esoteric, occult, and like fringe science stuff. That's his personal library he donated. And
Holy shit.
I did an episode with Teresa Ganzel, who's in The Toy with Jackie Gleason. And they filmed it in Atlanta, I think. And she said, he invited me for dinner and he wasn't staying at the same hotel as everybody. And I figured it's Jackie Gleason. He went to the nicer hotel, And so she goes there and he's staying in the penthouse and he's got telescopes all over the place. And he stayed at that hotel because it was the highest building in Atlanta. And he stayed up all night, every night looking for UFOs.
Oh, jeez.
Holy cow.
That's crazy.
He claims that, I think it was not FDR. One of the presidents showed him dead aliens. He swore up and down his whole life, deadly serious, that basically they showed him the Roswell bodies.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Swore. So yeah, there's a little weird Jackie Gleason. I don't know why someone hasn't done like a weird biopic of like just Jackie Gleason and UFOs.
Yeah, for real. Oh my God. I would absolutely sign up to watch this. Oh my God.
So yeah, they're in there. We got to think about the Cordettes in here, who all look like Betty
yeah.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do. Holy shit.
Whatever happened?
Yeah, they're the girl group singing. Yep, and then Gleason's playing Hamlet, which okay.
Actually, it wasn't. Jay and I talked about that. It's actually what's it called, Jay?
I don't know, some other horse shit, but it's quote unquote his Hamlet.
Yes.
So it's him doing serious work for the first
Very
time.
first time, yeah.
On TV.
He said he played a straight man once prior, but not like
And Elmer the Great, which was a Studio One summer stock thing.
Yeah, this was
Okay.
the Laugh Maker.
Here he
what
is with a
this
serious
is.
face putting on makeup.
Yes,
Doing
with Art Carney still.
Oh yeah. That is Art Carney.
Here's the thing that I always found strange. If I were to tell you Art Carney or Jackie Gleason, one of them played Santa Claus at least 3 times, which one would you guess it was?
I would say Jackie Gleason.
And
I
you'd
would
be wrong.
presume it-
It's Art Carney.
Very weird. I will say I love Art Carney for about a million reasons, but his cameo in Muppets Take Manhattan is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Which
things.
one is he again?
He is the father of the young, annoying little producer who produces their show.
Oh, right.
And he's very funny. He's got a
Yes.
couple really great lines in it.
Man, I need to see that again. It's
a good movie.
I love all the Muppet movies.
Here's a controversial statement. Best Muppet movie? Follow That Bird.
I mean, that's fair. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but
I actually never saw
It's
that.
really
amazing. It's super depressing. It's incredibly dark. The entire cast of SCTV is in it. Waylon Jennings is in it.
okay.
The songs are good. It's really dark. It's great. It's really good.
I've heard so much about it. I guess I gotta hunt that down because I've heard that and it's always been like one of the things I've intended to watch, and then just as soon as I'm done talking to someone about it, it's just gone.
Is there a 4K transfer of it? That's what I own.
Not
That's
yet,
what's
I wish.
important. Is there any AI upscaling? That's what I want.
With of weird faces. I saw it in the theater.
I learned a new word from here.
Wait,
too.
I'm sorry. Hold on. You
Yeah.
saw? How could you? It was theater released. I always assumed that was a video
Oh, no,
only.
that-
1985.
No,
It was the theatrical release. We're at the 40th anniversary this year. I would have expected a
God
4K
damn.
release for that.
Yeah,
but it's so
right.
weird that it completely gets overlooked as a Muppet movie. And I'm like, yeah, it's a Muppet
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I mean anything. They're all Muppets.
It's way
Yeah.
better than
I
The
mean,
Great
it-
Muppet Caper, and people throw that one in there. Like, come on.
Yeah, people love. I mean, look, the best part of that for me is Charles. Of
course.
but I mean, anything he's in is usually.
I was going to
good.
say, you just described anything Charles Grodin's in.
Like I don't know that. Is it Midnight Run? Is that the name of
Yes,
the fucking
yeah,
movie?
Midnight Run.
Yeah, okay. I don't know that it's as good a movie as everybody thinks it is. He's great in
Yeah.
it, and De Niro's fine. He's a good straight. He's a good straight man. I'll give him that.
Yeah, you learned a new word you're saying, Dan?
Yeah, sartorially.
That's like satirical,
Sartorially?
like doing something in a satirical manner?
Relating to tailoring.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's about ladies look at male TV attire, and it says
that's right.
that where was it? Did you know that most female TV viewers think that the male TV stars are sartorially not so hot?
TV Guide is like listening to a Shriekback record. The the vocabulary constantly impresses me, even
Yeah.
through the 90s.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Like that's. I knew the word, but it's one of those that I sort of always kind of forget. But I do love that. Yeah, women are heavily judging the way men are dressing on TV, which is fine.
They look
probably
slept in.
I mean, they kind of did look like
That's what it
shit.
said. Yeah.
And this is the era too when everybody had to have. Did they still have to have blue makeup on? I think so, right?
Yeah.
During black and white
Yeah.
days, it was
It's
all
53,
blue
so we're not
highlights.
Yeah, we're not in color.
That's actually one of the things I noted that was really interesting. Let me bring it up.
No,
Did I just
I disallow
So
it.
while you're looking that up,
It-
there's a fun thing in there about it's like a Dragnet speak, how to speak like you're on
Yeah,
Dragnet.
Jay has that up. Jay had that up on the screen for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Where like all the different.
Yeah, a lot of
things.
these I knew, like like APB,
Sure.
but this one, the big time.
It's like 2 pages.
Oh yeah, a booster is a shoplifter. Bunko is a good one. A crime where money or valuables is taken from a victim under misrepresentation. Code 3. Emergency call using a siren and a red light.
Oh, okay,
it's a
okay.
code 3.
Yep, con man, it makes sense. A dip, that one surprised me.
A pickpocket.
That's a pickpocket.
That's really funny.
Like dip
Yeah.
into the pockets.
Yeah,
Okay.
dip into the pockets.
There's a lot. Okay, I didn't see any of this. Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot. It's
thanks
like
for telling me what the DMV stands for. I guess not every state has that. It's not
That's
always
true.
called that, I guess. So that's funny.
I love my favorite one, Muscle Happy. And it's a guy who belongs to the gym in prison.
Okay,
However,
I hope they still use that term, frankly.
I'm thinking that also means something else.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
it
gotta be.
might. It might.
Yeah,
It might.
this guy's muscle happy.
But there was a thing, it was like in this list of all these different TV things, and one of them was getting ready for its entry in TV color programming. NBC has stipulated that all staff members assigned to the new division must take a color perception test. Decree was issued by Sylvester L. Weaver, vice president of the network's board of directors.
Okay.
So everyone who is going to be involved with the new color TV
If you're
had to
colorblind, you're
take a
dead.
very specific, they had to take a color perception test, which is probably color blindness or something like that.
Well, they didn't
So
want any
that's-
embarrassing mistakes.
Yeah, it's just really interesting that was there. I'm like, oh,
They didn't want, for example, a 4th of July holiday issue to look like a Christmas issue. Because you might as well be muscle happy at that point.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Did Perry Como ever have any July 4th songs? That's something we didn't go over. I'd be
Yeah.
curious.
Does anyone have a July 4th song?
No, but
She's
you
a
know,
grand old flag. She's a high flying flag.
I will say Dan once made me a July 4th record. When I moved
did.
away from upstate New York, our love language as best friends is comedy, and Dan made me comedy albums, full, edited, chopped up comedy albums.
I wrote an entire sketch about Paul Revere.
Yeah, you did, and that's how we communicated, and that's what kept me from being entirely too homesick. These have
Yeah,
not.
he's like, oh, you know what? I don't want to go back. I changed my mind.
There's I am not a fan of AI, and I hate AI.
Sure.
I'm very against it, except
Same.
in one instance. There is an
no.
account called Obscurest Vinyl that does. I don't know if you've seen them at all. They're on YouTube and in all the streaming services, and they do like offensive records, novelty songs that seem and sound like old records, and they're amazing.
Sure.
Yeah. Some of them are pretty
They're
good.
pretty great. And for 4th of July this year, they released an EP by a country artist called You Can't Cancel the 4th of July. And oh my God, it's so juvenile, but they sound like these perfect country songs.
Yeah.
And then they're all just about gay sex, like within 5, like this, the chorus to the You Can't Cancel the 4th of July. It's like, you can't cancel the 4th of July. I love blowing dudes while fucking some guys. And then it's just all
Yeah.
Jesus
like this
Christ.
completely. Yeah. And it's,
What I can tell too is like, I'm sure they're using something like Suno, and with Suno you can actually write your own lyrics.
oh yeah, a person's writing the
that in,
lyrics.
and then it writes a song
Yeah.
from it. So I think that's what they're doing, because I'm like, this doesn't have like AI written songs just do not have the consistency
No.
that these do.
Oh, okay.
So they're just using it to write the music and have singers that sound like, country or
yeah, because the lyrics are
But
too
I'm-
funny.
I'm
Yeah.
like 99% sure they're writing the lyrics at
Okay.
least.
Yeah.
So it's like
Interesting.
2/3 AI as opposed to 100%.
Yeah, they put out a whole Halloween record that has like DJ interludes and like it's nuts. But anyway,
Wow.
I like to think it's like upscale AI and that they're at least writing these things.
Sure.
There's some sort of self creativity
Of course.
involved.
There's an ad in here for this is so there's a weirdly a Chicago ad in here for their news station,
that.
even though this is a New England edition. And
Yeah.
WKBK, their news anchors are Ulmer Turner, who looks like a drag king.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
Austin Kiplinger, one of the nation's finest young newscasters. This man looks 70 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he
This
does.
really feels like, honestly, the kind of names that Jay and I make up for our bullshit.
I was going to
Ulmer
say
Turner.
yesterday, Dan was forced the other day to come up with about, I don't know, 20 fake names for some of the shit we had to do. And it's always some form of Blorg Flumstrom. It's always some terrible fucking name. And these absolutely have that. Ulmer.
Yeah.
Ulmer is a name?
Yeah, I had one thing. I didn't even give them real names. They were just the Guernsey Kings.
The Guernsey King. It's a really good name.
And they were sitting on a cannon.
Were they a sketch group? Did you decide? You didn't decide.
I didn't say what they were.
They were just the Guernsey
They were
Kings.
the Guernsey Kings. No other information provided.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
That's what
I'm
we
looking
do.
at the designer's view here. Yeah, video through a needle's eye. Carmi's basic dress.
That's right before the thing about the men.
Yeah, takes on new airs with a black polka dot apron. It was a good looking
It
dress.
wouldn't really help to have a color one.
Yeah. Ladies look at male TV attire.
Yeah.
Shit, this stuff is so
Yeah.
great.
Two-thirds of women polled rated male TV stars as only fair to downright poor dressers. The poll was anonymous, so the women pulled no punches.
I'd be curious to see what they were looking at, because in my brain, I'm just like, these dudes dressed exactly
Oh
the
my
same.
Yeah,
God, this
they're
is
all
so
in
rude.
basically the same suits.
One criticized Bob Hope for, quote, wearing clothes as if he were proud of his tummy.
I mean, he did stand like that. That was kind of how he famously sort of stood like
a pelican.
back arched a little bit. Yeah, like a pelican.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very good.
And Wally Cox should change from his, quote, his one baggy suit. Come now, Mr. Peepers is scarcely supposed to be a fashion plate.
Who is Mr. Peepers?
So,
This has
yes.
come up twice. I didn't
Yeah.
look Mr.
So Wally-
Peepers up.
Because
Wally
Sure.
Cox.
he had a Mr. Peepers.
So Wally Cox, who I believe Wally Gator is
okay.
a version of
Based
Wally
off
Cox.
of-
Had a very popular sitcom called Mr. Peepers, and he was not a peeper. He just had giant glasses and was like kind of a
Okay.
bumbling idiot.
Okay.
But yeah.
So kind of a Mr. Magoo type.
Yeah, sort of. But it was a very popular sitcom. I don't think very many episodes exist today, like a handful maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This is just an ad. But all was not negative. The girls had kind words for Perry Como and his, quote, perfect grooming and, quote, air of casual but neat comfort.
Oh, look at him
Yeah.
go. What a
And
sweet
John
little boy.
Cameron Swayze was called, quote, the Aldolf Menjou of TV. But nowadays, isn't Aldolf Menjou the Aldolf Menjou of TV? Yeah! You know what? That's what I always say, too. Good old Aldolf Menjou.
Is that a Dennis Miller joke? He's the Aldolf Menjou of whatever TV.
I've never heard of him.
No,
Yeah.
But
I mean,
he is the Aldolf Menjou of TV. And remember that, guys.
don't forget.
I'm going to bring that back into the vernacular. Thank you very much.
They also have the term vacation-itis, but my brain 100% read it as vacation tits. I looked at it like 3 times, like, wait a minute, wait, what?
What are vacation tits? How do you... Wait a minute.
It must be at least 27 tits up there. So I saw, so I went through, like, all the different shows that were on there, and, like, I investigated some of them that were really interesting and just frankly couldn't find anything.
Yeah, let's. Do
about
you want to
them.
start
Yes.
Friday, July 3rd, and see what you got?
Yeah, let's start. Because
Yeah.
I only got some... It's so funny because some of these are like, I mean, I guess... I don't know jack shit about some of them. And as I think I mentioned in my email, I was specifically looking for one particular episode of one particular
That you
show, which is
were-
in there.
Yeah, first you were like, it's not even in here, but then it is. Yeah.
Yep. And then Idiot. And I'm like, oh, this is seemingly... I think it's the Chicago time, though. It's because, I think it's what happened. I'm a little confused. As you say, there's a lot of Chicago stuff, but it seems to also be East Coast, but the time seems to be Chicago time. I don't know, so I apologize if I bring up the wrong
This is
thing.
very strange. No, I don't know how time worked in 1953, to be honest with you.
I have one thing for Friday that I could.
Yeah, what do you got on
drew my
Friday?
attention, and that was Playhouse of the Stars, which was actually the Schlitz Playhouse of the Stars because it was presented by Schlitz. I remember Schlitz, but it is now defunct. And it was just called Richard the Lion, and it was about. What was the description of it again?
Which is
A guy is jealous of his wife because she pays a lot of attention to her pets, so he decides to get a pet of his own, a lion. And they had a real lion on set. And while I was researching that, trying to find anything, I found like 2 episodes prior, they had a lion on set. So I'm like, did they just rent a lion and be like, we gotta make the best use out of this as possible?
For a live television show? That's fucking insane.
And not only that, but it's live from a playhouse.
Yeah, right.
It was a literal it wasn't
They're
like
film
a
plays.
studio. It was literally like on stage at a theater in a playhouse. Probably was a live audience.
I feel like people are pitching things, and it's just like the studio head owns this lion, and they're like, this is going to be a dramatic story about a boxer, and he's struggling with PTSD from World War II, and he's like, great, what's the lion doing? And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the lion's in it, so put it.
The lion has to be there. We paid good money for this lion, and we need to get it into everything.
My favorite titled show on Friday is clearly like a man on the street kind of interview show, which they put the genre as chats. And it's called
I saw that.
Curbstone Cut Up
Curbstone Cut Up.
with Ernie Simon.
Holy crap. Yep, there we are. That's
I had noticed, like, throughout looking at these in general, like, I think in my gut I knew this was true, but so many of them are like game shows or like crime dramas,
Yeah.
murder mysteries specifically.
Yeah.
Like you go through and you're like, blah 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 presents, and it's so and so finds a murder, and then the next show is blah blah presents, and it's so and so finds a murder.
And
I'm
those
like, okay.
those we still have a lot of because those were shot on film for the most part and weren't live. I also, it just hit me that this is pre-rock and roll. So there's a music show called T's Top Tunes, which I guess is like a pop chart show. But the songs are Helen O'Connell and Bob Eberly with Ray Anthony's orchestra play the tunes Just Another Polka and Jersey Bounce.
Nice.
Holy shit.
So it's like we don't even have rock and roll yet.
What a dull country we were.
Yeah.
This is the whitest magazine that's ever existed. This is so,
There's definitely not a whole lot of representation.
How many networks? Because at this point we still had the Dumont network. So did we have 4, or did we have NBC and CBS and Dumont?
There's 4.
Did ABC not
ABC
exist?
existed,
There was
yeah.
ABC. Okay. Okay. Because I will say in the world, not to bring it back to this, but in the world of Dan and Jay's Comedy Hour, all of our stuff was on the Crosley network.
Of course.
Because, the quote unquote now defunct. As long as you say the thing no longer exists, it's basically free for all. So as long as it, maybe could have existed, because Crosley, now they make shitty record players, but back then they made fucking cars. So who's to say they didn't have a network?
Right, exactly.
I'm right there with you.
Everyone had a
We got Superman on. Did you have anything on Friday, Jason?
I was trying. Okay. I just was mostly interested in, I don't know if any episodes of this exist, but the Goldbergs, the original Goldbergs, which has nothing to do with the one that exists now, which was like female-led, like a female-led and produced show, was one of the biggest fucking things on TV. I think Sanka might have advertised on that show, but yeah, I've never seen an episode. I don't know if those still exist, but I'm interested. That's the one show is the most interesting.
They do. I think it might have been Shout Factory put out a box set of like all the existing episodes, maybe 10 years ago, I want to say.
All right.
So you can see them. I have not really watched any, but yeah, it was massive show, massive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just this Jewish family in New York in a small
kind of
apartment,
tenement building.
It was just, just dealing with their everyday horse shit, and like she released a comedy album, which is how I know anything about it. It was not even a comedy album; it was mostly a bunch of like like monologues.
Okay,
she wasn't particularly compelling there. I think she was probably much more interesting on the TV show, but she was also Again, like she didn't.
Yeah, it's like
she was loaded. She was-
Jewish 227 in 1953.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, Richard and the Lion, starring Jackie the Lion. The Lion gets top billing.
Got first billing.
Jackie the Lion, Joe Andrew, and George Nadler.
And everything I found, all they have is the brief description that's there. That whatever is what's written right there is the only information I can find on that
Love it.
specific episode.
I love it.
Jackie the Lion.
I tried because it sounded fascinating. Like there's a lion.
It's a few days before my research gets anything interesting. I
Okay.
will say that,
Yeah.
but like some of these are pretty.
One of the things this reminded me about, because modern times, is just 6 o'clock news existed.
Yep. Sure.
Totally forgot about that.
The one thing that blew my mind, I can't remember what day it's on, and I apologize for cutting outside the template here, but they did cut down an entire Western movie to a half an
Yeah.
hour. It's advertised as
Looks
a
like
movie.
that wasn't uncommon too. I've
that's
seen several
really
like
weird.
that.
There's two things they would do. They would cut them down to a half hour, or they would show the movie in half hours every day.
Okay. Now that makes it's still dumb, but it makes more sense.
Maybe they were trying to recreate like those Western
Cereals.
cereals that they used to have in
Disney
theaters.
would do that well into the early 80s on their Sunday night show.
Isn't that like kind of what Wonderful World of
Okay.
Disney
Yeah,
did?
they would show
Yeah, that's what he was
2-hour
just saying,
movies
yeah.
in an hour block weeks
Okay.
apart.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I'm shocked that Mr. Wizard's in here at 6 o'clock on Saturday.
I wrote that down.
blew his mind.
Don
too.
Herbert,
I didn't
yeah.
know that he
He
started.
started
that
in 1951
Yep.
on this particular show, and then ended in the 60s, and then came back with Mr. Wizard's
Which was the
World.
Canadian show, and he hated those kids.
Yeah, and I watched. Yeah, he put them in danger quite often.
Yes, he did. And he was not. He did not have a lot of patience for them, and they're all very polite. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite one is when he's teaching. There's a small Asian boy. He's teaching about water displacement by dunking him in an ice water barrel, and he's all like, "Now, what happens when I put your head down?" He's like, and this kid's like, "Oh, the water comes out of it." He's like, "Yeah, it does. Get back in there." Like, it's really ridiculous.
One of the ones that sticks in my mind, and I remember watching this on TV, and people have posted it online, so I've seen it since, is he's teaching a girl about different types of gases, and one of them was hydrogen, and he had her put a match near it. She had no idea what was going to happen. It scared the shit out of her when there's a giant fireball about a foot away from her face.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he has her light a candle at the end of a yardstick and put it. Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it was.
He basically
my Christ.
recreates the Hindenburg disaster in front of this 13-year-old Canadian girl who has no idea.
And she had no idea that was going to happen. You could tell.
There was a thing we didn't get to do in our presentation yesterday. We desperately wanted to, but couldn't figure out how to make it work just because we're not prop experts. We're like okay at it. We wanted. Have you ever seen a video? I think it's from G4 of this guy who's like, "Hey, here's my precious little wax cylinder. By the way, these are made of plastic now, so they're not as fragile. But like, and like, I think it's the man himself who owns it handling it, right? And then is it the guy from G4 handling it?
He's one of the hosts. He was an older host from G4.
Okay.
Because the guy on the other end was the guy who owned it. Because
Okay.
and he's like holding it, and then it just shatters. He breaks it because his hands are like shaking like
God.
this, and then he's holding it, and then he just shatters it.
So we wanted to
And he's
recreate
like, "Oh
that, but
shit!" And then the guy's like, "Oh no, it's okay.
it's only a one of a kind.
It's only a one of a kind thing.
Holy-
It's
It's just my
fine."
legacy.
Oh
It's
my
fine.
Yeah, right. That's why we got 10 of these
That's
fucking
right.
things made.
That's right.
It proves we existed, Ken. Do you
And there's a
understand?
dead man
That's
switch,
the
so if
whole
I
point.
disappear, these get mailed out.
God. Exactly.
Exactly right.
Anything else on Saturday?
Saturday. I think I had a couple things written down or just noted for Saturday.
Bowling fun with Fred Wolf.
I mean, that's good. What the fuck is lamp unto my feet? I'm sorry. Okay, it's religious shit. so
Yeah,
that's
that
why I
sounds like
didn't-
a that sounds like a parody
I forgot to put
religious
a date on
statement.
this one.
It does. There's also Kids Carnival Quiz, which has 3 Ks.
Yep.
I mean, there's
Oh
that.
God, I didn't see that.
Jesus
Was
Christ.
the G Theater? Was that on Saturday? I forgot to write. that
We got
down.
Saturday Night Review, 4-Star Playhouse.
What day was July?
Oh, I flipped
12th?
forward to Sunday.
Oh yeah, because this is 4th of July.
Yep, I accidentally flipped forward.
There's wrestling, and I was like, oh, there's got to be good wrestling matches here.
So I don't
Yeah.
remember what day this was.
I mean,
forgot to write
Detroit's
it
pretty
down.
well known for having like some really early TV wrestlers, and but I don't know if they would have shown.
This is
here.
a Boston
They probably
one because I
okay.
know one of these guys.
You
He's
do?
still around. His name is Bull Montana.
Holy shit.
And
Is he 95?
he's up there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he definitely did a lot of wrestling. Bull Montana lives in Melrose, where I grew up, and there was a cable access show in the 90s when I worked at the station called the Wrestling Insiders. And Bull Montana would be there every week, and he'd be like, I love playing darts at the Melrose Elks. And I'll send you some footage of Bull Montana sometime. But there was also a wrestler named Tony Rumble, the Boston Bad Boy. And he literally worked at the deli counter at Johnny's Food Master, like in The Wrestler.
Okay.
And every week they had a show where Bull Montana and Tony Rumble would sit and read the paper out loud and comment on it. And it is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. And
That sounds
The stuff
phenomenal.
that they are just like, this can be a show, right?
it was so good because it was mostly Tony Rumble going, let's look at to see what the police blotter. Some guy snapping his carrot in front of kids at the park. And then Bull Montana's like, that's not right, Tony. It's gross. And then they go, yeah, it was. So Bull Montana is wrestling in this 4th of July, 1953.
Holy shit. That's amazing. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
What the hell?
Still around? That's blowing my mind because I feel like I'm trying to remember the names of the guys. Like the original guy who called himself, or some variation of a Sheik or the Sheik. There was a guy who was a Detroit guy. They had a pretty, again, I know very little because I'm not from here. I've tried to do my research and feel like I'm a local, but I know that we had like old timey wrestling. There are a few. I have these weird pop culture blind spots. One of them is wrestling. The other one is like all of the different cities that have like late night spooky time who hosts. And I love the idea of it, but it's not a thing I've ever even gotten to experience.
We're
like,
not the age for it.
Sven Gulli and stuff.
We're not the age for it. It's like a generation before us.
But there's some of them are still doing
sure.
it. Was there a Boston one?
Oh, there were
was one
several
here.
in Boston. We had one. The weirdest one was called FEEP. And FEEP was a light bulb that someone had made into an alien, and they would shoot it in negative, and he talked like this, I'm FEEP. You can look it up, FEEP Boston Horror Host. It was FEEP the alien, and it's super weird. And then we had Uncle Dale, who hosted Creature Feature. That was yeah.
We didn't see, yeah, maybe it is an age thing, because I think the shit that Dan and I got to sit watching growing up in upstate New York was a guy who owned a leather shop in about an hour
Welcome
away.
to Forever Leather. Tonight's good show.
That's the name of the show, Forever Leather, Tonight's Good Show. And he was just talking about the leather he was selling, but he was this guy who was obviously from the city, who had moved up to upstate New
And
York,
it's
but he wanted to
huge.
it's huge. He just wanted to talk to you about all of the different leather goods that he was selling.
And he always had like these sexy ladies. I think they worked there though.
Yeah, they probably did. And I tried to write a pilot about something like that. It didn't work out because I didn't know what the plot was. But that was a show that stuck in my head. It was just a show. He bought half an hour of time, and he would but we didn't have a Sven Gulli. We didn't have an upstate New York Sven Gulli. I wish
Have
we
I talked to you about Dollar
that was
Bills
the most,
Discount World?
Oh, please tell me about Dollar Bills.
So
Discount
I can
World.
send you some footage of this, but in Derry, New Hampshire, quarter mile south of Klamm Haven, quarter mile north of Frost Farm. Yes, Robert Frost Farm. There was a guy named Dollar Bill Burke, and he wore one of those umbrella hats with dollar bills all in it. He's like 6'8", and a skirt made out of dollar bills. And every Saturday morning on WNDS, the Winds of New England, he bought the 7 a.m. to 7:30, and it was literally a half hour every week of him walking through the store telling you what was for sale. And it is insane. And you would get this. I used to tape it every week. So I have like all the Christmas episodes, I think from 2003, and it is unbelievable. I'll send you guys links.
It sounds like
Yes,
the
you
same
should.
thing, but opposite. Because this guy was like always trying to be like super cool.
Well, he sold leather, Dan. I mean, come
This guy does a lot of air
And then you
humping,
got this guy-
screaming.
a lot of air.
And then he'll
Ooh,
make, he
okay,
does this
is
all the
great.
time, which we think is like from Twin Peaks or something. But there's a lot
Yeah.
of, don't get excited, babies, like that kind of stuff. It's very weird.
Yeah, it really felt like he was doing an auction almost. It was like, I've got this thing here, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he did,
And then
right.
we got this thing, blah, 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 blah.
It's
and-
like he saw QVC, didn't have a way to actually sell the stuff on the air, but was kind of acting like he was QVC, our guy.
That's fair.
Holy shit. Wow.
So I'm looking at Saturday, and I see a show I missed before called My Son Jeep.
Yes.
And then this one is Jeep gets the measles and sends notes to his friends, but the notes fall into the hands of the police. End of description.
That's all you need. I'd watch that.
Holy shit.
I'd watch that.
I feel like this turns into another murder procedure.
Yeah, there's a movie on that. I just love the title. It's called Fog Island.
I saw that.
A strange group of people
right.
meet in an old mansion in a quest for a fortune and a murder. That's got to be from the 20s, I'm guessing.
You're right.
And how much is of this stuff, like even the movies, don't exist.
No.
So it's like it's such a point lost in time. As my inner archivist cringes at this shit. Like even the dumb shit I wish still existed somewhere so that like I know it's safe. Is that weird? That's my...
No,
It's not weird. I feel like...
Yeah.
It's sort of what I was talking about at the end of our thing yesterday, where it's like every time something moves to a new format, something gets left behind and lost.
And that's one of the reasons why my goal is, and it's impossible to reach, is to release Dan and Jay's Comedy Hours stuff on every possible recording
and sometimes
medium.
impossible.
And there was recordable paper, Ken, and that's something I really want to release an album on.
Fair enough.
There's an earlier show. It's a little bit earlier than Primetime, but it was called Industry on Parade. And just reading this description, it sounds like how stuff works in the 50s, because it says a tour through a company which will present soap sculpturing and a trip aboard a steamer which carries limestone from Michigan quarries to steel making
That show
centers.
sounds like a punishment.
It kind of does. Do you know, by the way, that because of those limestone quarries, Detroit is hollow underneath? Detroit
I
is
did not
hollow.
hear about that.
There, you can't go under there, but most of Detroit is fucking hollow. There are columns of limestone, but you could technically, if you want to, drive giant trucks through it down underneath
Jesus.
it. Yeah.
And then they built cars
That's
on
right.
top of it.
Yeah.
Sunday, on to Sunday, this caught my eye immediately. It's a show on at 3 o'clock at the same time as the movie Prison Train. Show on Channel 5 called Youth Wants to Know. And it says, this is the best. Teenagers quiz. Guest, Secretary of Treasury George M. Humphrey.
Holy shit.
Youth Wants to Know from Secretary of the Treasury George M. Humphrey.
They don't.
Of course,
That's not
of
information they
course.
want. Holy Christ.
In a related thing there, I had stumbled on this thing called GE Theater, and it was a... again, it's a theater thing, right? And it was a show called Bilshan and the Thief. And now that I remember that it's a July 4th, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, because the description is a young refugee learns about American patriotism from a bandit.
That's pretty good.
Do you know who the host of GE Theater was?
Reagan.
Yep.
Ronald Reagan. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, that was his
Like,
gig. That was his big gig.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's, okay. Well,
And I don't recognize a single actor's name that was in that.
You wouldn't, because you're not 112 years old.
But then also on Sunday was a show called The Plainclothes Man.
oh, this was interesting. This kind of
This
blew
is
my
super
mind.
interesting. For one, it was the first police procedural that ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a detective procedural, but this is the first police. And it was shot first person like Peep Show.
Yeah.
But of course, they didn't have handheld cameras then. And there's only one picture from behind the scenes of it. And it is insane how big that was. Again, Dumont Network.
And I don't think...
Yeah, it was all done. They would have the camera lying on its back looking at the
Yeah.
ceiling. If like he was in a fight, they would
don't
shake
get
it.
this. I don't get
And it's
this.
like apparently it was on a crane. And so they could angle it also. Like if he's reading something, he would hold that up in front of the camera. If there's bullet hole, whatever. And of course, it was sponsored by a cigarette company, so there's often
course.
cigarettes and cigars right at the bottom of the camera.
There's
right?
a noir movie called The Lady in the Lake, I think, from 1946 or 7, that's shot first person like that. So you are the detective guy, and then there's a couple of scenes where he like looks in the mirror, and it's very weird. And I have to imagine this was probably influenced by that movie.
Has to have been, but my God, like just looking at the photo he found, like I mean, I know how big those cameras
yeah.
were, but I mean this long, this wide, like they weighed a ton. They famously, you had to block everything for a reason on early TV. I can't imagine. I don't know how they
It
did
said
this.
there were times where he had to climb on top of the camera in order to do the angle of his hands and stuff. And then there's one episode I could find on YouTube. I think there were 233 episodes total, and over 5 years it looks like. and only I think it was like 4 of them still exist. And
Nuts.
I could only find one actually online.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I watched it, it's like, yeah, it's from his perspective, but of course, because it's such a big camera,
Mm-hmm.
it felt like, I don't know, do you remember any of those early like 90s games where it was like kind of Myst-like and everything was like, there was like, you were looking at a video, but they were referring to you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was. Like the camera kind
Like
of was,
cutscenes.
it was still like, yeah, it was still
Okay.
shot like he was standing, like the one I saw like mostly took place in a shop.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was standing in front of the counter and everyone was behind the counter doing stuff. They were talking to him and he found things on the floor and stuff, but it was like that angle was very little movement. There was movement, but like he didn't go behind the counter, and there, obviously it's a one camera show. That was pretty typical back then, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it really, really felt like
so
those
funny.
types of games. I played a lot of those as a kid, and it just really reminiscent.
It is an interesting way to make a bottle episode, a low budget bottle episode, feel different, or the novelty,
Yes.
or be more interesting. And I imagine that since the majority of these early television shows were based on like pulpy stuff or radio, which has that narration and it's mostly first person, that they were like, okay, how do we translate that? And it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything for Sunday. I'm so
Nothing for
sorry.
Sunday. I thought you said the big thing came Sunday, and I'm jeez.
No, the big thing comes on Monday, but it's entirely unrelated
Thunder
to,
was
to me and this
plainclothes
idiot.
and-
There's some other stuff. Like, I mean,
There's a show called Wonderful John Acton. The events and happenings in the
assuming-
lives of an Irish American family in the Ohio Valley in 1919. The old Actons are native Dubliners and the younger generation native of Ludlow, Kentucky. Kevin Acton narrates the story of his childhood and of his, quote, wonderful grandfather. John Henry Holcomb plays Wonderful John.
Wonderful
Holy
John.
crap.
What
Uh,
did you find now?
Is that 10 a.m. or p.m. on Sunday? I think it's...
You don't know how to read it.
It's one of them.
It's well, they don't like do a.m. or p.m., so you have to like scroll to see.
That's true.
Okay, it looks like it's 10 a.m. and it was its first showing of Bride of the Gorilla.
Yes, that's 10 a.m. Yeah, kids
And
movie. Ed Wood.
Riff Tracks did that, I think, this year or the end of last
Yeah.
year.
That's funny.
And it is bad.
Oh, it's
Of course
terrible.
it is.
It is bad, and the gorilla looks bad. Oh my gosh! Because I wrote another one down. It was actually I wrote something down about another riff track.
I want to read their
Misrepresented.
summary of Bride of the Gorilla for a moment.
Yeah,
Please.
Bride of the Gorilla.
So they do say first showing movie. A man murders a girl's husband so that he can marry her and is cursed by an old witch into believing he is turning into a gorilla.
thing is, he kind of is a gorilla.
So much. That's so good.
Yeah.
A slap happy cowboy with romantic
I missed
ideas.
it.
That's the title of the thing. A slap happy cowboy with romantic ideas is the
Wait,
show.
that's the title of the
No,
thing?
that's a show called Calaboose.
Calaboose.
Calaboose. Oh my God. The titles of the nonsense sounding titles of some of these are very good.
A movie called What's
I
Your
wanna know what
Racket?
Garfield Goose. Ooh, I didn't see that.
What's Your Racket? A pretty nightclub entertainer succeeds in robbing several cafes.
Good to know. There's a column on Sundays. Page,
Chubb McCarthy?
Chubb McCarthy. That is an amazing name.
Very good.
It also starts like this. Dear boss, say,
Yeah.
boss, I've arrived at last. I now sit among the seats of the scornful. I have been dubbed Sir Critical.
Dubbed Sir Critic.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Say,
Holy
boss. Jason, you found something on Sunday there?
Oh, I don't know. I've lost it. Don't worry
right.
about it. I'm all over the fucking place here.
We got Monday anything. Ooh, the best ever boxing ad I've ever seen is on page 41 of the PDF or A33 of the TV guide. This is some
Oh, yeah.
serious
Oh,
art.
yeah.
This guy. Look at that.
It looks almost like they used a photo of shorts and then drew all the rest off of it.
Yeah.
It looks
I
like
don't think so, but it looks like
this
it.
guy started drawing the boxer, and then they were like, "Do you know how big it's supposed to be?" And he goes, "No." And they go, "Here's the box," and he goes, "Oh
Here's the
shit!"
box will go shit on the head. Damn it.
Let me put a child's head on this
Yeah.
man's body.
Yeah,
But make him a mad baby.
yeah.
I will say, so this is the day that this is the whole reason I requested this, and that's because, well, we won't segue into promo, but long story short, I have another record out, and I was digging and digging. I can't find this video anywhere because Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts is almost impossible to find any but a few episodes of. The one I want probably doesn't exist, but this comedian named Dick Davey was performing this very night. He won Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts, or at least his resume later claimed he did. I don't know if that's actually the case. He did exaggerate a lot on his resume, but this is one of those shows that I've been interested in since finding out it even existed, even though it was a huge show at the time, a massive show. He did a bunch of other contest shows like this, and I thought he was going to have a bigger career than he did, but. Yeah, that's a guy who I've been studying for quite a long time.
And this was the episode he won aired this day on the Monday?
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, this is the one. So, 8:30 in Boston is when this would have aired.
Bob and Ray is on at 6:30. Captain Video, which you had never heard of Captain Video before this?
No, I knew of Captain Video.
hadn't heard of it.
He hadn't. I've been obsessed with at least the visual part of it because I love the awful looking outfits they had, and it's something I've been trying to figure out how we recreate for our fake history on again the Crosley Network. I've been trying to figure that out. Haven't gotten there
Captain
yet.
Video was very sort of Buck Rogers inspired.
I found a couple on there. Was it 1,537 episodes?
Yes.
24 exist.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he basically couldn't get a real job after that again.
Oh yeah, no, he was fun.
Oh, he was so famous.
Ended up becoming a security guard. Because
uniforms.
He said he was typecast. People would say, "Oh, hey, Captain Video on the streets." Like they all knew him.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get a goddamn job.
Yeah.
Now, is that a show that they released, Ken? Is it something you can buy, or you just have to hunt around
I've seen
on YouTube
public domain stuff. I don't know if anyone's ever released an official one. I do remember they would show on Night Flight like the odd Captain Video episodes sometimes. Clips would show up every now and then, but definitely not something that was readily available. It's so funny to me that I happen to have that Captain Video thing right here on my desk.
Yeah, right.
I love on Monday there's a show called Racket Squad, which is great, and it's on against a show called Juvenile Jury, which is a kids panel
Jay
show.
has some notes on that one.
Oh yeah, I researched that a little bit. That's the other one. So one of the kids on this particular episode ended up becoming, let's see, here we go, Dr. Ronald Maluzzo, who died in 2023. So he had a good life, 78 years old. Born in the Bronx. Let's see.
He's 8 years old in this
University of
episode.
Bologna. Yeah, 8 years old. I want to know what this show was, other than the research on Wikipedia did tell me that it was the first show to be videotaped for broadcast. So, which is interesting that this is the show that became thank you, Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know if it's just kids reviewing stuff is what I would think, but they write it as if this is a court case. So they're moderates panel of young jurors, and then it just.
I wonder if they juror any of these murder
It'd be
mysteries.
funny if they were doing
Yeah, I know.
real cases, like murders.
Yeah.
shouldn't it be manslaughter instead of murder?
Gregory Fisher 4.5 is kill him.
Kill him. Swing him up. Swing him up. But yeah, one of these kids ended up being a well-regarded doctor. So
Nice.
he lived long enough. I don't know if he ever served on a real jury. I can try and call his family if you
He
want.
got out forever because he was they were we called you for jury duty, but you were on juvenile jury. No, your grandfather then.
Ooh, there's a movie called Murder in Reverse.
Uh-huh.
A man falsely convicted of murder is sent to prison, and when he is released, sets out to find the man he was supposed to have murdered.
That's a good premise. That's very DOA.
That's pretty.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Happy Pirates. Kids.
I like Dr. Fix'em.
Yeah, I saw that. I tried to find anything about that. Nothing.
No.
Nothing?
Dr. Fix'em's Household Ideas is pretty exciting.
It's a comedy show, apparently, but
I believe it.
that's about all I get from it.
I also love there's, the Bob and Ray show, but also on Tuesday at 1:00, there's the Bob and Kay show, which is a different Bob,
Okay.
and it's Bob Murphy and Kay Westfall with human interest stories. But man, that would be
I
confusing.
want to share something that's I saw in the general information that's kind of adjacent to that, because it's one of the most interesting parts is that there's literally nothing about this online right now, and there's a legal fight over the Space Ranger title, which is ironic with Disney nowadays. But there was Rocky Jones Space Ranger and then Rocky Star Space Ranger.
So this is like the whoomp woot where it is, there it is kind of fight.
Yeah, because Rocky Jones Space Ranger, Rocky Jones Space Ranger was a TV show, whereas Rocky Star Space Ranger was a radio show.
That's totally different.
And it's all about, like, it says, even for 2400, it's quite a coincidence even for 2400 AD. When these boys picked titles, they had Rockies in their heads. The suit may even involve those old-timers, Rocky Road and Rocky Mountains. Okay. And it seems that each of the Space Rangers want to be the Lone Ranger. Oh, you guys. Mm-hmm. Oh, you.
There's a lot of silent films on.
Yeah. And so I'm, like, looking at that going, okay, well, let's find out what happened to the case. I need to know what happened. I literally can't find anything on this case. This is the only place it's mentioned is in here. And
That's
but
really funny.
What I can tell you is that the radio show had 6 episodes, and the other one is still around. And in fact, there's a Mystery Science Theater episode called Manhunt in Space. That is a Rocky Jones.
So I think we know who won that. The juvenile jury has spoken.
The juvenile jury has spoken, and it was Rocky Jones.
There's a silent Lon Chaney Jr. movie that I assume is super racist because it says notorious gem thief operates in the Orient, but it has a great title. It sounds like a Dio song. It's called Hangmen Also Die.
Yes.
That's very good. Yeah, once you see the word the Orient, you know immediately.
Yeah.
you're
Well,
in for
there's
some-
apparently a long time
some eye makeup.
Villain of Captain Video that has a Fu Manchu.
I mean,
course.
that's
That was-
that's
and
standard
of course he
issue.
refers to him as a wily Orient.
Oh, we usually
my
got like the
Christ.
Yellow Menace, or
Sure.
that came up quite a bit.
Woof.
Yeah. Where are we? So Tuesday.
It's a product of its time.
It truly is. Anything on Wednesday?
All I saw was Laurel and Hardy time, and I was only interested in that because I don't know. Do I really like Laurel and Hardy, or do I think I
you
do?
like
I
'em.
mean,
They're fun.
do I? Or do I like Abbott and Costello more because what's smarter?
I feel like Abbott.
Because Abbott and Costello very straight vaudeville.
Laurel and Hardy. Like it was pretty much just like
It's more gentle.
wasn't Laurel like he was usually hit by Hardy's cat, and he was kind of a dumbass.
It was a little simple.
Whereas like Abbott and Costello had like Who's on First,
They're
which
snappy.
was very
Bibbidi
so
bobbidi.
I don't remember Laurel and Hardy being all that.
Just, that's it. Full stop.
Creative
All
in
that.
that way.
They weren't all that.
They
weren't
were not
that.
all that.
And a bag of bowler hats.
I would like to point your attention to page A40, aka 48 of the PDF. At 2:30 p.m., there's a chat show called Welcome Travelers, hosted by Tommy Bartlett, who interviews visitors to the city of Chicago. And just above that is a photo of Tommy Bartlett.
Holy shit, Tommy.
He looks like a Dick Tracy villain. That's not like that's an ill person, right? That's not a normal. What's going on there?
That is the Dick Tracy villain 5-head, and
This
he is
guy has a giant
shit.
square head and his looks has like a unibrow. It is growling in this picture.
What page?
It's on page 48.
48.
Oh, the PDF. Oh, there we go. Oh, it was doing it. Oh my God!
Right?
Here, that's the sound he's like.
That's his press photo.
Yeah.
That's like this is my best picture.
Yeah, he had options. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he makes
That's
the
what I
same
mean.
face
Like
at
that's
every
his
photo.
best picture.
Yeah.
He's interviewing people about visiting Chicago. They would be terrified.
Yeah, he looks like he's like checking out them ankles. You know what I mean? Like
I just visited Chicago, and I'll never go back. Why? I met Tommy
Bartlett, who sounds like a Stephen King villain.
A little bit.
right after the Howdy Doody show is a show called Rudy Kazootie, which is another puppet show.
Okay, I know Rudy Kazootie is a reference, but I'm now trying to remember what from. Is it something Chevy Chase said on Community, or is it something I heard somewhere? Oh, Jesus Christ! Now
Very
I don't
well
know.
could be.
I've never heard of Rudy Kazootie.
I have.
It says
but I don't know
Puppet Antics with Bob Smith.
It's probably reading up on Jim Henson at some point. It probably
They
came
had
into
a
it. I
little
don't
golden book of Rudy Kazooie.
know. Really?
He's got a little kid who's like a baseball cap and a little Dalmatian dog.
You got that magic box in your pocket. You can figure out anything, Dan.
There's a show called Ladies' Choice, and it says Johnny Dungeon MC's variety show. Ladies, clubs, and organizations from all over the country choose the professional and amateur entertainers seen on this program. Johnny Dungeon's Ladies' Choice.
Dungeon.
There's also a Hi Ladies Jack Payne.
Oh.
That's all it's called.
Hi,
and then it's
ladies.
just vocalist Jackie Van and Mike Douglas participate.
Man,
So it's just like, it's a show, it's like a pickup show. It's like, Hi Ladies.
Hi,
Tommy
ladies.
Bartlett's
This is
all
my
over
voice.
that thing. Thursday, anything pop out at you?
Let's see. What did I have? Oh, I mean, I saw the best of Groucho. That anything Groucho
Oh, yeah.
works
Yeah,
is
I mean,
going
that's
to
it.
immediately pop out to me. We do have
Just so you know, Hi Ladies is also on the
Oh.
in the history of our group, we mostly talk about the Marx siblings, which are very terrible rip-offs of the Marx brothers, and there's a very gassy one named Tudo Marx. There's where I don't remember I now can only remember the bathroom humor one, but there's about 20 of them, something like that. Do you remember correctly, Dan? How many there were? There's
Way
Grippo,
too
who clutches
many.
his heart because he's always having a heart attack.
Yeah, he's like always on the brink.
There's, of course, Pisso. We don't
course.
have to go into all of it, but
All of
look,
them,
these are
yeah.
the kinds of things that we do.
There's so much good
There's
stuff.
a Linkletter's house party and there's literally zero
Yeah, so that's
description.
Art Linkletter, which we probably know best from the Craftmatic adjustable bed commercials
Right.
of our youth.
As we all.
His
as we
daughter
all.
took LSD and killed herself, and that's
I didn't know that.
John Waters made a movie about it in the 60s.
Okay.
But he is the whitest, most buttoned-down guy ever. So the phrase Linkletter's house party is hilarious to me. There's also, this is great. There's a quiz show on. Where is it? It is hosted by a guy. Oh, yeah. It's called the Happy Pirates Kids Fun Show, where it's hosted by Two-Ton Baker and Squawky the Parrot.
And Squawky the
But Two-Ton comes back later in the day because he hosts a quiz show that's for adults.
But he still uses
He
that
still
name.
uses Two-Ton. Where did I see it? It was just here.
What page?
I'm
are
on
we
page 52.
Pictures to the PDF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where is it?
44.
Two-Ton Baker, and then it's just Gary Moore Show, Time for Fun.
Terror of Time.
Oh, have you ever seen that? It's a Western with all little people. It used to
my
play on
gosh.
USA a lot when I was growing up. It was like a very huge cult movie called The Terror of Tiny Town. And I'm shocked that it aired on TV. I thought it was way more obscure than this. Oh, Movie Quick
Yeah.
Quiz. That's it. 1 p.m. Movie Quick Quiz hosted by Dick Two-Ton Baker. Also, funny name, Dick Baker.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Time to bake the
Absolutely.
dicks.
fantastic. Wait, who is Two-Ton Baker? Do we know anything about
We know
him? Have you looked
nothing
him
about
up?
Two-Ton Baker.
Okay.
There's old time film narrated by Johnny Coons. We got that going on. Tommy Bartlett's still around. Tommy Bartlett is on the same. Oh no, they're on different networks. Dick Baker and Tommy Bartlett, I feel like, had a rivalry.
If you look at them, they kind of look not dissimilar. The big square heads, as you say, very, very similar.
Channel 9 has a guy named
Okay.
Jack Brickhouse.
There was a
Ooh,
there was
that's a
Ford
good
Theater
name.
showing a film drama called Junior starring Edward Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
It just because it wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger in a Junior movie.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Wait, now is Edward Arnold the same as Eddie Arnold? Probably not, right?
I
Probably
have
not.
no
Yeah, probably
idea.
is.
And Arthur
From
Franz.
Green
Yeah?
Acres.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's
my
Eddie
first
Albert.
thought.
That's Eddie
effort
Albert.
No, that's Eddie Albert, right? Wait, who the fuck is Eddie Arnold?
In a desperate effort to prove that he is as good a lawyer as his father, a young man rigs a witness as a device to win a spectacular murder case.
Okay, so he's a scumbag.
The
Yeah, apparently.
the episode of Garfield Goose and Friend that day, the illustrated story of, quote, how milk finds its way from the farm to the dinner table.
See, it's. I'm telling you, is it's like either Mr. Rogers' little thing where he shows you how stuff happens, or like how stuff works. Like it's early versions.
What a
of
way
that.
to say that. Not how milk gets
Yeah.
from the farm, how it finds its way.
Its way. It's so poetic.
It is.
So you've never seen
this
you've
is-
never seen Terror of Tiny Town, either of you.
I've
Oh,
never
you gotta look
I
it
have
up.
heard of it.
But now I kind of want to watch
It's
it with your description.
nuts.
I like your description better than theirs.
It's nuts.
Which had none, I think. There's a movie called My Little Marky.
Oh yeah, that's
And I kind of like the description of this, which is just Marky hires twins to aid in in her trip to accompany her father on a trip to South America. I'm like, okay,
That was a TV show. That was a sitcom. That was like wacky
was it?
late women be crazy.
Oh, okay, one of those.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so this is just one episode where she hires twins to smooch her
Yep.
dad. Got it.
We've all done it.
We've all
Sure.
done it.
I mean, come on.
Look, dad needs some.
And then where are we? That's
He gets cranky.
it's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday's the last night because it started on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Boston Blackie's on.
Good old Boston Blackie. Okay.
Is that the name of a show?
It is. He was a
Is that-
detective. This was a
Okay.
radio show originally.
Okay.
And
lot of
yeah,
those
so
on here,
this was
obviously.
a detective who was called Boston Black. He's not black. Sure.
Oh, I presume.
That's
I
appropriate
presumed.
then. That's
Yeah.
better than what I maybe assumed might have happened. I think if I'm not mistaken, the Lone Ranger, the guy who played not on the TV show, I don't think, but in the radio show, is from Huntington Woods, which is the place where I work at the library. And there is a house down there called the Lone Ranger House, which supposedly like had but like stables built attached to it, which is weird because this is suburban Detroit.
Yeah.
And it's very weird to have horses here. Even in the 50s, it would have been a weird thing to have. But this is what I'm told. I don't know a whole lot about it. But there are a few shows that got their start here. Lone Ranger, Green Hornet definitely got started here. The first radio sitcom ever, which I think was called The Smiths. I've never heard it. Can't find anything much about it, but it's from here. Anyway, that's it. Just because I'm in Detroit, I figured I'd bring up a couple things that are roughly
Then there's that
relevant.
article about Perry Como, and they call him the crooner's crooner.
I saw
Ooh,
that.
look
So
at him.
there's later on, there's something about questions that contestants on The Big Payoff could not answer. So don't cheat. I'm going to ask you these questions, and I want to see if you can
All right,
answer them.
all right.
Okay.
First question. We're looking for the largest island of Denmark. The famous capital city of Copenhagen and the historic town of Ellesnor are located on this isle.
I didn't know there were
I didn't know
islands in
Denmark had islands either.
So the answer we're looking for, everyone, is Zealand.
Of course.
Old Zealand.
Oh, because
Old
there's a
Zealand.
New
Nowadays, I'm
Zealand where
sure.
film was discovered.
Exactly. I'm glad we could bring that.
Yes.
Okay, number 2. There's only...
It's only 35.
There's only
It's not
30 of these.
Only 1,001. We're looking for the writer of these frequently quoted lines. She's no chicken. She's on the wrong side of 30 if she can be a day.
Samuel Clemens.
Look. Groucho Marx.
Jonathan Swift is who.
Of course, that's
Jonathan Swift.
that's a solid in between the two that we just guessed.
Exactly. It's if we had to do like a middle. Okay, number 3. We're looking for a famous Connecticut Yankee. He was United States Secretary of the Navy from 1861 to 1869. Noted for his incorruptibility and efficiency, he was largely responsible for building the powerful Union fleet during the Civil War.
You know that neither of us. Well, I can't assume that
No.
Ken
I'm not
doesn't
going to
know.
make any assumptions.
I'm going to go Stonewall Jackson.
I'm going to say the same thing.
I'm sorry, we're looking for Gideon Wells.
Oh, no.
course,
I thought that
classic.
was like a soap actress.
Okay, we're looking for a famous English statesman orator. He fought British policy in the American colonies, favored the French Revolution, and supported Irish Home Rule. He caused an uproar in government circles with his famous toast, "Our sovereign, the people."
I don't know. You
No
know that
clue.
we're
James
not going to have
Joyce.
the
I
answer
got
to
no
this.
idea.
Charles James Fox.
Okay, we're not going to get any
Oh,
of these yet.
see Jimmy
Maybe I'll get
Fox.
this one.
Sure, see Jimmy
exactly.
Fox.
Okay, number 5. You might get this one.
Okay, sure.
We're looking for the famous man who quoted this frequently quoted message. "The time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith." Who originally wrote that?
That's Albert Brooks' father, Park Your Carcass.
I'm going with Lincoln.
It was Paul the Apostle.
Okay, you know that we're not
New
going to.
Testament.
I feel like that's,
Okay.
you could be like, technicality, did he say that?
Yeah, right.
Right, there you go.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Number 6. We're more than halfway there.
Okay, yeah, great.
We're looking for the distinguished American who wrote these familiar lines. "For of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, it might have been."
Wait, did that say sad words of tongue or pen, or of tongue with pen?
Or
Okay.
I'm going to say Sir Francis Bacon.
I don't know. I got nothing.
the answer was, and you're real close, John Greenleaf Whittier from Maud Muller.
Oh, okay, great. That's great.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's like Frank Ham. That's why he was close.
We're looking for a famous queen. Come on.
Oh.
It's Queens. These are big names.
Sure.
She was married to 2 brothers.
Uh-huh.
Was the daughter of Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain, and the mother of Mary the First of England. Give us the full name of this famous figure in British history. Come on, guys.
Elizabeth?
Groucho Marx.
Catherine of Aragon, Henry VIII's first wife.
Close enough.
It's pretty much the
What,
person.
Yeah.
what a highbrow quiz show.
I know.
Right?
This is too
Of
much.
course, to be fair, these are the questions that none of them got on the quiz show. So
Two-Tone didn't ask him.
we're looking for the noted Englishman who wrote The Task, a poem in 6 books. In it occur these frequently quoted lines. So remember, you've heard these.
Frequently.
Sure.
Okay, actually. Variety's a very spice of life that gives it all its flavor. Name this 18th century poet. Come on, we literally use this phrase
Robert
today.
Frost.
No,
He's
it's
not from the 18th
it's Byron.
William Cowper. All right.
Oh, nope.
I've known all these, by the way.
He's after
Yeah.
whom the gland is
He's not
named.
reading these people.
Exactly.
He's memorized these.
I've got this all memorized. These are actually, I'm just asking. these
Yeah, they're not-
questions.
you made
I'm
up this
making
show.
up that they said that here. We're looking for a composer born in Connecticut, so pretty close to where we grew up.
Sure.
He wrote the opera Rip Van Winkle,
Uh-huh.
but the most famous for the love song "Oh Promise Me."
Uh-huh.
We've all heard that.
Sure. Yeah, we all know it. George M.
Irving
Cohen.
Berlin.
You are both so close. It's Reginald de Coven.
Oh, Reggie.
Whose name means
You were close,
of the
you were close,
coven.
you were close. All right, almost there, guys. Almost there.
How many questions are there?
11, and we're on 10. Okay, we're looking for a famous prison of the French Revolution. Okay.
Okay, the Bastille. We're good.
It was a former royal residence
It's
in
the-
Paris that became the seat of the courts of justice in the 14th century.
Uh-huh.
Marie Antoinette spent her last days there
the
before
Bastille.
going on the guillotine.
It's the Bastille. The Bastille?
I'm going to go with the Bastille,
Yes. It would be the conciergerie.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And now last question.
What was it called? The conciergerie?
Conciergerie.
Conciergerie.
That's
Or
bullshit.
conciergerie?
Conciergerie?
Conciergerie.
Sure.
Must be where concierge
Sears
comes from.
Roebuck.
Anyway, last question. This is the easiest one, I'm sure, because it's last.
Sure.
We're looking for the pen name of Cicely Fairchild Andrews. This Irish-born political writer and novelist wrote The Thinking Reed, as well as a famous report of treason trials.
Why are you putting your finger up as a just wait?
Let's wait. Let me
Look at it.
finish the
Nope,
question.
this is gonna give it away.
You might get it from that.
Yeah.
No idea. I'm going to go Dear Abby or something like that.
Donald Gleason.
Close. It's Rebecca West. The
Great.
Meaning of Treason.
Great. Ken, would you like your show back?
Okay, well, that's...
Well, you wanted a quiz.
Well, that
for
was a
me.
little pilot for a spinoff. That's not going to happen. We just did a backdoor
Yeah.
pilot for 1953 quiz show.
And it's not that it's a quiz show about the 1950,
No.
about 1953. It's questions that they asked in
Before you had
1953.
pop culture.
Before you had pop culture,
Yeah,
exactly. That's as pop
Yeah.
as you could get.
In the 16th
Did you read
century.
it in the encyclopedia?
Yeah.
My brain just can't take that
It
stuff.
seems like
So
punishment.
on page 62, I wanted to
did.
point this out too.
Okay, yeah. What else you
There's
got
a
in?
comic, and I just want to point out, like, this is showing that despite what parents say and blah blah, that time has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
There's his entire family sitting on a couch watching TV, and a dad had just come home.
Mm-hmm.
He's blocking the TV, saying, "I'm home,"
No one
Yeah.
cares about him.
and they're all stuck watching TV.
And that's why alcoholism and divorce was such a huge thing then.
So, you know, we're on our phones all the time, but, you know, they were in front of the TV all the time.
There's a lot of cartoons in old TV guide, like one panel sort of.
Yeah. There's one I just don't fucking get, and I don't know if it's of the time. And it just says, like, was it like home demo or something? And a guy's just carrying a TV out to his car.
Yeah.
And a guy in the shop has a confused look on his face. What the fuck?
Oh, he's going to try it out at home. He wants a demonstration. Like, they'd bring a vacuum
But it
cleaner.
says home demo, so I don't really know what
Yeah, like they're going to demonstrate
that
it.
is?
Like, they'd come over your house and vacuum and show you how it works. So he's like, yeah, bring the TV over and try it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Now I
Which
get
would
it.
be a
That
very
makes sense.
expensive, weird thing to do.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah, what's the thing? Chicago Radio TV Sales and Service. Free home demonstration. He's just walking out with the TV. I guess that must be what that is.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
it's Texas, by the way. They don't have real numbers. Not really, but they have the word
Oh, and his
Texas.
license plate.
Okay.
There was only one car in Texas until 1955.
Until then, yeah. And he drove it all the way to the...
My favorite name of any TV show in here was called Joe Palooka. I
Yeah.
don't think we went over that, but I mean, Joe Palooka is
That's
a
pretty
very
good.
good name for
That's
a TV
very
show.
good.
Do you think that's the origin of calling people a palooka?
I don't know.
We'd have to ask Johnny
Or-
Brickhouse.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see if it's on one of those quiz shows they never.
Johnny
answered.
Brickhouse is like a sports reporter. That's not even like a cop show. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, that's just his name.
That's such a good
Yeah,
name.
there's a lot of lost names here.
Okay, it's from
They really are.
1920s. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wait, what was his name?
Johnny Brickhouse.
No, the other guy, the Palooka.
Joe Palooka is the name of a TV
Yeah.
show.
That was a comic.
Oh, it's
Okay,
based
well
on a
then-
comic strip. That makes sense.
Okay, so it's another boxing
book.
thing. Okay, it's another fucking
Lot of
boxing
Palooka's
show.
toughest fight.
But not the greatest boxer
and-
ever seen.
Is that a thing that just went away until Rocky became a movie? Like the idea of like boxing is a
Because they're not sure of its origin, but
thing?
apparently it became a household word because of that
comic.
comic.
Well, boxing between the wars, like so many battle damaged guys became boxers, and boxing
Sure.
was the
yeah, they're
mob
like, I
sport.
need to feel pain so I can
Yeah,
feel
and
anything.
it was
that
the
kind of
mob
a
sport,
thing.
100%. Like it was, so that's
Yeah.
why, and Rod Serling was obsessed with boxing. Like it was from the 20s to the 60s.
And their gloves were a lot thinner.
Yeah,
back
was
then,
huge.
And their faces had to be a lot tougher. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, all right, I'm going to send you guys Bull Montana and Dollar Bill.
Yes.
And yeah, this has been fun. We'll have to do this a third time.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, I'm down.
All right. There you go. That's Jason and Dan. Hope you enjoyed that. Look on the socials if you're curious about my Fred Hembeck Captain video. Let me know how you guys are doing. Hopefully, those of you who celebrate had a good Thanksgiving. If not, hopefully this was some respite from family or whatever. I made a little turkey breast in the air fryer. It came out very good. I have to say, once you go air fryer, you never go back. It's like and it's about the only meat I make every year. Anyway, you don't want to hear about that. If you do, you can email me. But I'll be here next week. I hope you will too, as we kick off December, the final month of 2025, on a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
It is the year 2025. A once proud world has been reduced to ruin and despair.